Hey guys, I'm back. So, couple things. First of all, Japan, I did not do the Japanese entry roll at the end of the last video, and I should have done that. It's the first thing everybody asked me when I said, okay, I'm done. Anyway, so I'm going to do that at the end of this video, okay? But first, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap and then let you know what's going to change here. Things are going to change. So let's just look at where the main part of the fighting was, and that was here in the Balkans and in the Ottomans and in the Mediterranean, basically. So a couple of big takeaways. First of all, the Ottoman Navy is gone. They don't have any boats whatsoever, and they even bought a couple of submarines during the prequel. So I'm sure he's a bit disappointed with that, but you can see he does have a lot of units though, and he already has defense in depth too already sewn up, so that's good for him. In the Balkans though, he didn't fare as well. Like he did get his technology from the Balkan Wars, but Greece is a little stronger than it should be. Bulgaria is not as strong, and of course they're leaning towards the Central Powers. And Serbia is super strong in here, right? That was our goal. It was to create a trench line in Serbia with some artillery, and just see how Bob's going to deal with that, right? Because that's got to draw you away from Russia. So like we could have lend-leased to our navies, or we could have lend-leased more to Greece or to Mexico, but we thought, like this is the one thing that we're guaranteed of getting, and that's Serbia. So let's put the last couple turns there. We just said let's just put whatever we got left in there or save, and that's pretty much what we did, right? We didn't do anything else. So that beefed up Serbia, and that's going to be a challenge for Bob going forward. And but it's not just him though, of course. Like it's Germany, and so. The Germans are really strong in here, and both of those guys are just excellent players, right? Tim and Bob. So I think Randall's going to have all the have a lot on his hands too. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of it's going to come down to the first couple of turns, right? Like how this shakes out to begin with, and then the Western Front over there. How is that going to affect the Western Front? Like, will he compensate and bring more German units to the east, or will he concentrate on the west? Like that's usually a better thing to do, I find, concentrating on the west. But circumstances are different, and that's the cool thing about the prequel, right? Is that it has made things different in this game. Not so much where I'm showing you right now. I came to this side of the board because I just wanted to show you like we haven't been on this side for the whole game. So just showing you what it looks like here. So anyway, that was down in the Balkans there. And then in Mexico, of course, the rebels won, the revolutionary forces. But they won too handily. They left 5 infantry and cavalry over there, and I don't feel too good about that being the American player, because if Germany manages to get that, influence it, then it's right beside the American border there, right? And I would have rather had 1 or 2 infantry left and a cavalry. That would have made me feel a little bit safer down there. But so that's a benefit to him. But the bonus for winning that though for the Americans was that they got level 2 of improved construction, and America likes to build ships, right? That's where improved construction comes in. You get your ships a lot cheaper. And then the other one was level 3 and improved logistics, and that might be the best technology for the Americans. So they've only got 1 roll left to get, right? And I'll show you why it's such a good one, because you don't have very much time to get to Europe. To get into the fight by the end of the war, like even less time than you have in the 36 game. In fact, probably much less time. So if you get your shuck going, you go across and then up, and then your improved logistics, you can take an extra transport back. So you could be sending 4 transports back every turn four transports, four transports, and like in getting them all the way back there instead of having to go back and back again, right? So that's four less transports that you need. So improved logistics is really helpful to the Americans for that strategic naval move, that +1 in that. Um, and So yeah, that was the big consequence of the Mexican Wars. Too many guys left over, and the technology that was given out for the revolutionaries winning it. Africa was the other big winner in this game. Prequel so far. When I say winner, I mean there's a ton of units in there, like more than I've ever seen, and they're going at it. Like they've already started fighting. They started a turn early down there. Even the Austrians are down there, like they're over here. Um, and the Germans are down here, like both of those guys are down there. And then you've got the other four down here. Like there's just lots going on, right? And lots of units. But yeah, I think that's going to be fun down there. What else is changed in the prequel? Um, Oh, you know what's really big over here, I tell you, is in the last two turns for the random events in the East, the Warlords have managed to get six militia. They got four in the last turn and two in the turn before. Plus, you see these damaged railways down here, right? Well, those end up being in their favor because it's the nationalists, the one that are moving, that are mobile, right? And so when they put stuff on or get Lend-Lease stuff, they don't have a railway to go up there. The Warlords aren't really going to use a railway. The most they're going to do is walk to the next territory, right? You don't need a railway for that. So anyway, the railway doesn't hurt as much though as the six militia that went on. And then, to make matters worse, the Americans, although they benefited from getting that dollar, it wasn't worth it because there was a bunch of units on there. There was artillery and there was a couple of infantry in Nanking, and so they had to remove them, right? So not only do you add six militia to the other side, you also take off three good units for your side, and they're going to be in tough there. I tell you, when we take this Japanese role, if the Central Powers get Japan, holy crap, man, the nationalists are in trouble, right? Even so, I think they're in trouble. I think they're going to be hard pressed to get any points down there. It could be the Central Powers coming away with points in the Warlord era down there. So I think that's pretty much it. There is a couple more things we got to do before we can move on. So where are we here? I have got to get a couple of mines. Where are we here? A couple of naval mines. There we go. So, this is what we're doing. Now that the nations are at war with major powers, now we mine these straits. Before anybody could move through them, but now you have to get the guy that owns Gibraltar's permission to do that. There's that one, and there's one that's going to be going down here as well in the Adriatic Gap, but not yet because the Italians haven't entered the war and likely won't until 1915. I don't think there's another random event for that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was. So the other one is going to go down in the Denmark Strait here. So you can run these straits, but you have to, it's like going into port. You roll a D12, and if it's a 3 or less, then your ship gets sunk, right? Trying to go through there. So that's what the mines are for. Anyway, let's take a look at the technology that was gained in the prequel. You can see there's that's I think quite a bit more than you start the game with in 1914. A few more pies, not way too many, but a few more, right? Because you do start, every nation does start with some. But I think that's a little bit more. And then you can see the incomes that we have over here. So the incomes are going to change, and I'll change those for you. But the summer of 1914, this term we're going into, this is all the money we have. It's at the end of our turn, because war is being declared now, that we get a wartime income. This is all peacetime income. And you see the units that are on here as well. Those are reserves. So when you go to war, then you put them on at the end of your turn. So again, it won't be till the end of the summer turn here, but then everybody will put their units on, except for the United States, because they won't be going to war yet, right? And the Ottomans and the Italians, because none of them will be at war yet. Anyway, actually maybe the Ottoman does get to do that, because he does declare war at the end of his turn. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so there's that. Oh, and the incomes. I was going to show you the incomes. You know what, I'm just going to pause this for a second. Okay, I just was adjusting the IPP tracker. I should have done that before the video, but it was nothing. It took me a few minutes, so you didn't need to watch that. Anyway, the diplomacy chart over here, we'll go through that real quick. There's a couple of them that are up on stage 3, Norway and Argentina. So Tim could be getting those really soon for the Germans. Greece, all those units piled on it. Everybody's going to be going for Greece, right? So we'll see what happens there. And then nothing else, no real surprises. Mexico is down, but we didn't do a lot of diplomacy, right? You didn't get a lot of money, and so if you spent it all on diplomacy, then you were kind of screwed. So I showed you how much money we're going to have to spend on this coming round, but this is what our wartime income is at this point right now. Americans is a peacetime income, and China does get a starting income of 3, but they've lost that one territory to the Americans, right? The Americans will probably give it back to them this turn. And then, like all the other ones, are at their normal starting ones, except for France and Germany, because Germany has this territory here that's worth an IPP. There's a couple other territories like this one and this one down here that changed hands, but they're not worth anything. So anyway, Germany's income is at 36 and France is at 20 instead of 21. Like normally Germany would be at 35. But this is not their starting income. We don't have a starting income. We just, this is our wartime income, is the total of our territories, right? And so that's where it's at now. So at the end of this turn, like Britain could be collecting 33 instead of 35, you know what I mean? Like if you go up or down, I mean, you're going to collect what you collect at the end of your turn, right? Anyway, so I think that's it. Switching over. Italy will probably come on board in 1915, like I said, but right now is when we're going to try to give Japan away. I say try because there's a chance they could stay neutral until next turn, and then we try again. So I dug to the bottom of the thing, and I got myself, let's move that back. I got myself a purple dice. Okay. So here we are right here. 1 to 2, Japan joins Central Powers in alliance to Austria-Hungary. 3 to 5, Japan remains neutral. 6 to 12, Japan joins allies in alliance to Britain. And then if like you're neutral, then you roll it at the beginning of next turn, like after the random events, right? So here we go. Good luck, everyone, especially my side. Here we go. 9. Okay, so Britain gets the Empire of Japan. Okay. So what that means is that the Japanese are only going to get half their income because they turned out to be allied, right? So instead of being at 12, now I can put their pie up here. They're going to be at 6. Where are we here? There we go. So Japan's income is 6, but if they take a territory, they take something that's worth $1. I don't know where something that's worth $1. Yeah, this territory here, this German one. So if they take that $1, then they're up at 7. If they take another territory that's worth $1, they're up to 8. You don't have to half the stuff after that. You only half that starting income of 12. You started at 6, and then you count from there, right? Anyway, that's it, guys. So thanks for joining us for the prequel. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed it. We learned a little bit, and it's kind of neat going into the game where everything is a little bit different. When I played it a couple of years ago, like there was some really, really consequential things, and the game just started weird, right? And so this, it doesn't start so weird. It just, it's close to it, but there's enough of a variation. And you know, like if you went and looked through the random events booklet, we only pulled one out of every 6 random event, right? So the combination of what could have happened just in the prequel alone is pretty neat to think about. But again, nothing overly consequential that's going to say, okay, these guys just won the game just because they won that random event. Anyway, Japan, welcome to the Allies. Can we get you a cheeseburger? Take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.